We now have the new series rapidly warping towards us, and very soon there will be millions of new young Doctor Who fans in playgrounds up and down the land threatening to exterminate one another. And they will have plenty of questions about the past Doctors. What was Gallifrey? Who was K9? Was television really in black and white once? And they will expect us to have all the answers. So to save you any unnecessary embarrassment, here are some things you need to know about Doctor Who. Now, the first thing you should know is that Doctor Who is the world's longest-running science fiction TV series, watched by an estimated 110 million people in over 60 countries. Not surprisingly, this has meant that the program has a massive fan base. Doctor Who has thousands upon thousands of dedicated fans all over the world, of which up to as many as 40 are women. Now, probably the most searing portrayal of these conventioneers, or Whovians, as they're known, came from the pen of Alan Bleasdale, who gave them a pivotal role in his 1991 drama GBH.
Jeff, where do you keep your Durex?
What?
Where do you keep your Durex?
In my wallet.
No, the Durex for the machine.
In the machine.
It's empty.
Durex, the biggest exterminator of them all! Exterminate! Exterminate! Ow!
Doctor Who is 900 in fictional years, much in the same way that Jerry Halliwell is 29 in fictional years. The Doctor is limited to 12 regenerations, after which he'll just have to rely on Botox if he wants to be totally unrecognizable. And his name is simply the Doctor. The Who refers to the mystery that surrounds him. Despite this, the TV Doctor was once referred to by his titular appendage.
What are my instructions?
Naturally, steps were taken to make sure that this mistake was never repeated, though the BBC was again left red-faced after a 1974 episode where the Daleks' evil creator Davros was mistakenly referred to by his first name, Dwayne.
Would the Doctor be there by any chance?
Now then, Doctor, where were we?
For you, Doctor. Says he's an old friend of yours.
I'm going after the Doctor. The real Doctor.
Right.
Doctor!
Hello, yes? Doctor, do I gather that the tables have turned somewhat?
I'm the Doctor, by the way. What's your name?
Rose.
Nice to meet you, Rose. Run for your life.
Some other Doctor Who companion trivia. Did you know that Bonnie Langford is completely battery-operated? Or that in order to tint her blue eyes brown for the part of Leela, Louise Jameson wore coloured contact lenses, and she found them so uncomfortable and weird to work with, they made everything look red, apparently, that the producers had an exploding spaceship change her eyes back to blue.
That's interesting. Pigmentation dispersal caused by the flash. Her eyes have changed colour.
Aside from the Daleks, the Doctor's most dangerous, recurring menace was his arch-rival, the Master.
I am the Master, and you will obey me. You understand?
You will obey me.
Obey me.
Obey me.
The Master originally was played by Roger Delgado. Roger's real name, Roger Cesar Marius Bernard de Delgado Torres Castillo Roberto. An episode was planned where it would be revealed that the Doctor and the Master were in fact brothers. But this was shelved after Delgado was killed in a tragic car accident in 1973, only 2 years after taking on the role.
I always find that violent exercise makes me hungry. Don't you agree?
And you'd better enjoy your meal, Doctor, because it might be your last.
There is a healthy cross-fertilization between Doctor Who and other sci-fi shows. This is best illustrated by Star Trek: The Next Generation, in which all the Doctor's names from Hartnell to Colin Baker pop up on a computer readout.
I've been able to locate a family living just outside of Indianapolis.
One episode of Casualty featured character names from Doctor Who's Inferno and the Seeds of Doom storylines. The Casualty scriptwriter, Paul Cornell, was and is an ardent Doctor Who fan, and he's one of the writers on the new series.
Sir, I hear Mr. Keeler.
Mr. Keeler's not very well.
Mr. Keeler!
It seems we've seen a lot of you over the past few years, Mr. Keeler.
Who's going to perform this operation?
Oh, you are, Mobley.
Derek Mobley, 25.
Derek, we'll help you in every way we can.
You're a good man, Mobley. Come on.
Doctor Who has inspired many a musician, some great and some not so great over the years. Jon Pertwee was the first and only Doctor to have a go at the charts with this little number.
I cross the void beyond the mind, the empty space that circles time. I see where others stumble blind to seek a truth they never find. Eternal wisdom is my guide. I am the Doctor.
Whenever the script required Tom Baker to recite coordinates to program the TARDIS, he would rattle off a string of digits which, if you dialed them, would have put you through to either Scotland Yard...
Quadrant 6-2. WHI. 1-2-1-2.
Or to the BBC switchboard.
7-4-3. 8-0.
The new Doctor Who hasn't even reached our screens yet, but already it's generating its fair share of trivia. Christopher Eccleston, who plays the 9th TV incarnation, is the first Doctor who is actually younger than the series. Billie Piper is the first assistant to have an ex-husband more terrifying than the Daleks.
I can feel it. The turn of the Earth. The ground beneath our feet is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, and the entire planet is hurtling round the sun at 67,000 miles an hour, and I can feel it. We're falling through space, you and me, clinging to the skin of this tiny little world, and if we let go, that's who I am.
Right from the show's earliest days, there's been Doctor Who merchandise. Right now on eBay, you can bid for such things as Dalek salt and pepper pots, Doctor Who branded breakfast cereals from the 60s, and you can bid for the original Colin Baker. Although he's not in his original packaging, so that might affect its value. It's terrifying to think that there's a generation out there who've missed out on the Doctor and his companions during their formative years. The man responsible for depriving these kids of their rightful place behind the sofa was BBC One's then controller, Michael Grade.
So why did you cancel the show?
It seemed to me that Doctor Who was caught in a time warp.
Yes.
Really,
okay.
so to speak.
I think that's the nature of the show, isn't it? But,
Both the Doctor and Michael Grade disappeared from the corporation at roughly the same time, give or take a couple of years. But loyal Michael Grade fans, or Gradians as they're known, never lost faith. They regularly had conventions where they'd dress up like their hero in big bow ties, smoking fat cigars, and eventually fan power won out when, in 2004, Michael Grade returned to the BBC in dual roles of Chairman of the Board of Governors
and as the Master in the new TV series.
It's none of the governor's business what happens to Doctor Who, as long as I don't have to watch it.
Michael Grade's judgment is, of course, legendary and quite above reproach. After all, he was the person who decided what went in the Millennium Dome. Well, the chairman may not be watching the new series, but we certainly will be.
Long live the Doctor. You knew all those things? I'm sure you did. Splendid.
Then you are ready to face these people. You shall be well prepared.